Have you ever noticed how the mind changes after sunset? During the day, you can stay busy. You can distract yourself. You can push worries into the background. But when the lights go out, something different happens. The thoughts return. The fears return. The questions you avoided all day suddenly sit beside your bed. Many people fall asleep, exhausted, yet their minds never truly rest. What if Jesus understood this struggle better than we realize? What if there was a specific Aramaic prayer he used before sleep? Not merely as a ritual, but as a way of releasing the weight of the day before entering the silence of the night. Most people know the prayers of Jesus during the day. Few ever ask how he prepared himself for the darkness. Yet the ancient traditions surrounding his life point toward a profound truth. Night was not simply a time for rest. It was a spiritual threshold, a moment when the heart could either carry its burdens into sleep or place them into the hands of the Father. And hidden within the language Jesus spoke lies a forgotten Aramaic word connected to that surrender. A word that carries the meaning of release, trust, and freedom. Later in this teaching, you will discover this simple practice connected to this word, a practice that can be used tonight before you close your eyes. But first, we must understand why so many souls struggle when darkness arrives. Because once you understand what happens during those silent hours, this ancient prayer will begin to make sense in a way it never has before. Many people believe their greatest battles happen during the day. But for countless souls, the real battle begins when the day is over. The phone is silent. The conversations have ended. The responsibilities have paused. Yet instead of peace, the mind becomes louder. Thoughts that seemed manageable in the afternoon suddenly become overwhelming at night. Small concerns become large fears. Unanswered questions become endless mental conversations. Ancient spiritual teachers understood this phenomenon long before modern psychology gave it a name. They recognized that darkness often removes distraction. What remains is whatever has been living beneath the surface all along. This is why the evening carried such importance in the world of Jesus. The Gospel of Mark tells us that Jesus frequently withdrew into solitude and prayer. These moments were not random acts of devotion. They were intentional movements of the soul. He understood that whatever enters the heart before rest often continues working through the night. Many people unknowingly carry unfinished emotional burdens into sleep. Regret from the past, fear about tomorrow, wounds from relationships, anxiety about health, concerns about money. These burdens do not disappear when the eyes close. They travel with us into the night. The ancient Aramaic tradition preserved a remarkable understanding. It taught that sleep is not merely physical recovery. It is also spiritual surrender. Every night, a person releases conscious control and enters a state of trust. Whether they realize it or not, they are practicing surrender. But surrender can happen in two ways. A person can surrender to fear, or they can surrender to divine peace. This is where the forgotten Aramaic word at the center of this teaching begins to matter. The word is shbaq. Most people encounter it through translations that reduce it to a simple idea, forgiveness. But in Aramaic, shbaq carries something deeper. It means to release, to let go, to leave behind, to stop carrying what no longer belongs to you. And there was a practical way this word was used before rest. Later, you will learn exactly how this nightly practice worked and why it became so powerful. But first, we must understand what happens to the human spirit when it refuses to release the weight of the day. Imagine carrying a heavy bag every day for years. At first, the weight feels manageable. Then, slowly, it becomes normal. Eventually, you stop noticing how much it hurts because you have become accustomed to carrying it. The same thing happens spiritually. Many people have been carrying fear for so long that fear feels normal. They have carried worry for so long that worry feels responsible. They have carried guilt for so long that guilt feels righteous. But according to the deeper Aramaic understanding behind the teachings of Jesus, none of these burdens were meant to become permanent residents within the soul. This is where shbaq reveals its hidden power. When Jesus taught forgiveness, he was not speaking only about forgiving other people. He was speaking about releasing every attachment that keeps the heart imprisoned. The Aramaic root behind shbaq points toward a conscious act of letting something leave your possession, not suppressing it, not denying it, not pretending it does not exist. Releasing it, many people spend years asking God to remove anxiety while continuing to hold anxiety tightly within their thoughts. They ask for peace while rehearsing fear. They seek rest while feeding the very worries that steal it. SHBAQ interrupts that cycle. It reminds the soul that peace is not found by controlling tomorrow. Peace is found by releasing tomorrow. And there was a specific nightly practice connected to this word that allowed people to transition from mental noise into spiritual stillness. Most have never heard it. Most translations never mention it. Yet before this teaching ends, you will learn how it was used and why its simplicity made it so powerful. Understanding this teaching is only the beginning. Living it is where transformation starts. If you made it this far, it means that some part of you is already seeking something beyond information. You are seeking awakening itself. I created 2 study guides to help turn that search into a daily practice rather than just a passing feeling. You'll find the links to both guides in the pinned comment below. Use them whenever you feel ready to go deeper on your journey. And the best is yet to come. In the next chapters, you'll discover what could change everything for you. There is a reason the ancient teachers placed such importance on the final moments before sleep. They believed that whatever the mind clings to at night becomes the first thing the soul encounters in the morning. In other words, the evening does not simply end the day. It quietly prepares the next one. This is why Jesus never treated the hours before rest as insignificant. They were sacred hours, hidden hours, moments when the noise of the world became quiet enough for deeper truths to be heard. Many people assume that spiritual transformation happens during dramatic experiences. They imagine mountaintops, miracles, visions, or extraordinary revelations. Yet the Gospels often show Jesus working through something much simpler: repetition, consistency, daily alignment. Again and again, he withdrew from the crowds, stepped away from distraction, and entered a place of communion with the Father. These moments were not escapes from life. They were preparations for it. The Aramaic word, shbaq, fits directly into this pattern. To release is not merely an emotional act. It is a spiritual discipline. Every evening presents a choice. Will the heart continue carrying the burdens of the day, or will it place them down before entering rest? Most people never consciously make that decision. They simply carry everything forward. Yesterday's fears become today's fears. Today's fears become tomorrow's fears, and over time anxiety begins to feel like a permanent companion. But the ancient understanding behind shbaq challenges this entirely. It teaches that what is carried can be released. What is held can be surrendered. What feels permanent may simply be a habit repeated for too long. This is why the practice connected to shbaq was never considered merely symbolic. It was designed to interrupt patterns that keep the soul trapped in cycles of fear and emotional exhaustion. When the disciples observed Jesus, they were witnessing someone who moved through immense pressure without becoming consumed by it. Opposition followed him. Uncertainty surrounded him. Yet he continually returned to a state of inner stability. The secret was not avoidance. The secret was release. Before this teaching concludes, you will learn how that principle was applied at the threshold between waking and sleep, and why so many who rediscover it describe experiencing a peace they had forgotten was possible. One of the greatest misunderstandings about peace is the belief that peace comes after problems disappear. Most people tell themselves that they will finally rest once the situation improves. Once the diagnosis changes, once the finances stabilize, once the relationship heals, or once the uncertainty passes. Yet, if this were true, many successful and secure people would sleep peacefully every night. The reality is that countless individuals continue suffering from anxiety even when their circumstances improve. Jesus taught something radically different. He taught that peace is not the reward at the end of control. Peace is the result of surrender. This is one reason the deeper Aramaic meaning of shbaq becomes so powerful. The word does not ask the world to change first. It invites the soul to release its grip before circumstances change. Consider how much energy is spent trying to solve tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. The mind rehearses conversations that have not happened. It imagines problems that may never appear. It creates scenarios that exist only in possibility. By bedtime, many people are exhausted not because of what actually happened during the day, but because of everything they mentally carried that never happened at all. The spiritual wisdom behind SHBAQ addresses this directly. Release is not passivity. Release is trust. It is the recognition that not every burden belongs in your hands. In the Gospel of Matthew chapter 6, Jesus repeatedly directs attention away from anxious striving and toward confidence in the Father's care. He understood something that modern people often forget. Anxiety grows when the future becomes an object of obsession. Peace grows when trust becomes stronger than fear. This is why the nightly practice associated with SHBAQ became so meaningful. It was not merely preparing the body for sleep. It was preparing the soul for trust. Night after night, individuals learned to place their concerns somewhere greater than themselves. And slowly, the inner atmosphere changed. Fear lost its authority. Worry lost its urgency. Rest became possible again. Knowing this teaching is one thing. Learning how to embody it is another. The original practitioners never treated these teachings as information alone. If this teaching is stirring a deep resonance in your heart, it is a sign that your soul is ready to return to its original blueprint. To support you in this transition, my guides explain the layers of meaning behind the first sacred words, offering you a path to clear the interference of the world. The link to access these tools is waiting for you in the pinned comment. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey when understanding must become experience. Up to this point, we have explored the meaning of SH, the hidden wisdom behind release, and the reason Jesus placed such importance on surrendering burdens before entering rest. But knowledge alone cannot quiet an anxious mind. Knowledge alone cannot release fear from the heart. Transformation begins when a teaching becomes a practice. The ancient communities that preserved Aramaic spiritual traditions understood this deeply. They did not separate wisdom from application. A sacred word was never intended to remain inside books or discussions. It was meant to be spoken, embodied, breathed, and lived. This is why the practice associated with SHBAQ survived across generations. People discovered that releasing the day before sleep changed not only their nights, but also their mornings. Think for a moment about the last thing most people do before going to bed. They review problems. They check messages. They revisit worries. They replay conversations. The mind remains active even as the body prepares for rest. The result is a divided state. Physically exhausted, yet mentally restless. Present in bed, yet emotionally trapped in tomorrow. The wisdom of Jesus points toward a different path. Before entering sleep, the soul must be invited into peace. The burdens of the day must be acknowledged and then released. Not ignored, not denied. Released. This is why the prayer you are about to receive is more than words. It is a doorway, a transition from striving into trust, a movement from carrying into... In the next chapter, I will guide you through the complete SHBAQ night practice, exactly as it can be used before sleep. You will learn the intention, the posture of the heart, the sequence of release, and the ancient prayer itself in the language closest to the one spoken by Jesus. What matters most is not perfection. What matters is sincerity. Even a few moments of genuine surrender can change the atmosphere of an entire night. And before you leave, we would love to hear from you. If you felt a shift in your energy, gained a new insight, or experienced an inner awakening during this message, write the word restoration in the comments below. Your testimony may inspire and encourage many others who are also seeking light, knowledge, and renewal in their lives. Transformation Protocol. Tonight, before you close your eyes, create a moment of stillness. Turn off distractions. Put aside your phone. Allow the room to become quiet. Sit at the edge of your bed or lie comfortably with your hands relaxed. Take 3 slow breaths. With each exhale, imagine the events of the day moving further away. Do not fight your thoughts. Do not judge your emotions. Simply notice them. Now bring to mind anything you are carrying. A fear, a worry, a regret, a question without an answer. Do not attempt to solve it. The purpose of this practice is not control. The purpose is release. This is the heart of SHBAQ. Before sleep, you are choosing to place the weight of the day into the hands of the Father. Take another slow breath. As you exhale, softly speak. SHEBAQ, pause. Allow the meaning of the word to settle. Release, let go, leave behind. Speak it a second time. SHBAQ, feel your shoulders soften. Feel the grip of the day begin to loosen. Speak it a third time. SHBAQ, feel your shoulders soften. Feel the grip of the day begin to loosen. Speak it a third time. SHBAQ, Abun Debashmaya, Beadak Meslim, Anaruhi, Shbakli Kol Deblibi, Natarni Beslama, Waskvini, Bainura Dilak. Now remain in silence for a few moments. When your heart feels ready, pray the following words. Ancient, Aramaic, Naipre, Abun, Debashmaya, Beadak, Maslem, Anaruhi, Shbakli, Kol Deblibi, Natarni Beslema, Washkvini, Benura, Dila. English, meaning night prayer. Our Father in heaven, into your hands I place my spirit. Release from me everything that still burdens my heart. Guard me in peace, and let me sleep in your light. Amen. Pray these words slowly. Do not rush. Allow each phrase to become an act of surrender. This is not a formula. It is not a magical incantation. It is a conscious movement of trust, night after night. This practice teaches the soul to stop carrying what was never meant to be carried alone. Within a few days, many people notice that their minds become quieter before sleep. Within a few weeks, they often report deeper rest and less emotional tension. But the greatest gift is not simply better sleep. The greatest gift is learning that peace does not begin when tomorrow changes. Peace begins when surrender becomes stronger than fear. Did you feel something shift today? Did these words touch something deeper within you? If they did, leave the word SHBAK in the comments below as a declaration that you are choosing release over fear and trust over anxiety. We are just scratching the surface of this ancient power. Get ready, because in our next video, I will reveal even deeper Aramaic codes that unlock spiritual authority you've never imagined. Make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on so you don't miss this unfolding revelation. IF today's message has given you a new way of seeing this teaching. Imagine what becomes possible when you explore it even further. My site dedicated to bridging ancient spirituality and modern living. There you will find my guides and a deep journey into Aramaic, the living language of the masters, designed to help you access states of deep resonance, clarity, and personal revelation. The link is pinned in the comments. And before you leave, we would love to hear from you. If you felt a shift in your energy, gained a new insight, or experienced an inner awakening during this message, write the word restoration in the comments below. Your testimony may inspire and encourage many others who are also seeking light, knowledge, and renewal in their lives. Thank you for being here and for opening your hearts to this ancient wisdom. Your presence in this space is not accidental. It is part of your own journey of growth and transformation. It is an honor to walk this path of discovery alongside you. Until the next revelation, walk in peace, walk in freedom, walk in SAHVAC.